This episode of the Breakthrough Success Podcast is brought to you by Jobber. Jobber is your business's command center. The easy-to-use app powers your sales, operations, and customer service all in one place. Go check them out at getjobber.com/breakthrough to receive 20% off your first 6 months. What's up, Breakthrough Success listeners? Mark Burry, the podcasting coach here, helping people launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts. And we actually have a really awesome story, probably one that you have not heard anything like this. We have what our guests would like to refer to himself as in the media, kind of coined this term for him as well, as the RiverRobinHood. What exactly does that mean? It's actually a really fascinating story. So our guest, he's been swimming in rivers, lakes, oceans, all these different bodies of water for decades. And he swims in the Boise River on the hunt for treasure, and he's found things like car keys, watches, knives, wallets, money, and even expensive glasses. He's found a lot of different things. There's actually something really fascinating. He found a prosthetic leg, and he was actually able to find the person who had the leg and be able to connect with that person. So NBC did the whole story, and basically, that's how the whole name RiverRobinHood came to be, because he goes, finds different things in a river, and just gives it back to people. So this is actually turning into a YouTube channel, which just RiverRobinHood, all one word. I definitely encourage you guys to check it out. But the guy behind the channel is none other than Rocky Detwiler. So Rocky, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thanks. It's great to be on your show.
I'm very happy to have you on Breakthrough Success. I know we talked a little earlier at the National Publicity Summit, and I mean, this is the kind of story that, you know, you don't really hear that much of at all, like finding different things in the river, really then going out and making it a point to give back. So I'm wondering what gave you the focus of just giving back, because some people, they would just keep the stuff, but you have this give back nature.
Yeah, thank you. Some of the stuff, it's really difficult to get back. Like, I have all kinds of I got Ray-Bans here. I got Maui gyms here. They don't come with a name on them, like, inscribed, call me here. So I get to keep all these items. But just maybe like a year ago, I'm in the river and I find a purse, and the purse has a wallet in it, and I pull it out of the river. It's in a deeper part of the river. Currents are flowing, so not too many guys are going to dive deep and go find that. So I dive down, find this purse, pull it out, and sure enough, there's car keys in there, and there's wallet in there. I'm thinking, darn, someone lost their purse and wallet in the river. And so I got the address, and I just, MapQuested it, and I drove to the house. Nobody's there. So I just, there was a box there. So I kind of sat underneath the box. I just left it there. So I took it back to the house. I had to track this all the way back to the owner. And this year, I gave back phones, several iPhones. In fact, one of them, because iPhone's really cool, because once you have your information in there, you can hit like lost my iPhone. It will send you right to your house. I know, because they came to my house, Mark. They came to my house to get the phone, right? And so that's because they turned it on. Before that, there was no, you can't access it. So once they turned it on, they could go, I know where the iPhone is. So they came to the house, and I had this story. I was encouraging these young guys, you don't take your phone, your $1,000 phone, to the river. I know, because I find them there. Leave it in the car. So anyways, I get a chance to kind of coach a little bit, but have fun with it. And of course, they left with their, $1,000 phone. It's still like $550 on it. So this is like in the same day, I found another phone, and they, it was like, it will beep. It'll go, right? And so I'm like, okay, call them up. Hey, I got your phone here. You lost it in the river, and I found it. So I met them downtown, and it's just really cool to be able to kind of find something and then be able to give it back to people after you find it. So that's kind of part of my story on how this kind of began, giving things back, through just this cool reciprocity thing, and what Robin Hood would do.
And I mean, it seems like they're taking a lot of different steps to return these different things to people. Sometimes, it's a phone, someone sets the thing and they come to your house and pick it up. And I just find what you're doing really interesting. And some people would they would come across the phone or whatever, and they would just not think anything of it. They would just leave it there. And I'm wondering, how can we get better at trying to help others in that way? Maybe it's not as dramatic as going in the river and finding a phone, but it could be something like, just helping someone doing that extra step.
Interesting. So we have a friend of ours here locally in our community, and she drops a $5 bill outside. And I saw this on Facebook because it's a friend of my wife's and I. And so she doesn't realize she dropped a $5 bill. She goes into the meeting, comes back 4 hours later, and the $5 bill is underneath the windshield wiper. Like someone saw her drop the money and put it under her windshield wiper, and it stayed there for 4 hours. So, there are these people in life that do good, and we have a community that does good. And when you go on RiverRobinHood, you can see, what NBC said about me, and then what I said about our community. We live in that community that is just a give back community. So, here I find this, if you want to talk about the leg right now or however you want to transition into it, but that's a full story in itself for sure, Mark.
And I would like to transition to that NBC piece because, some people, they want to do good. And in some cases, that's their whole business model, is doing good in some capacity.
Right.
And the issue with that is some people say, I do the $5 bill, you're not getting paid to do that. It's one of those, you feel good about yourself, but at the end of the day, you still have to make money. And some people pick up the $5 bill, put it in their pockets. So I think one of the things we should explore and, talk about that NBC piece and other stuff is, how do you turn something like, RiverRobinHood into a business? Because some people may have this idea of a RiverRobinHood or their version of it, but not know how to make it into something they could do full time. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that and how the NBC piece connects to the business.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea, actually. So after a handful of people have heard what I did, it wasn't like I was broadcasting it. Hey, I am the savior of the river. I will return all your stuff. No, that hasn't happened yet, right? So that's why I got boxes of glasses hanging out and knives and things that people just randomly lose in the river. But then there are those things like, phones, and if they don't turn on their iPhone, it's a brick. It's useless. I can't sell that, right? I got 9 of them. If people don't find my iPhone on here, they're virtually, they're useless. So, and I have several of these, which is unfortunate for the individuals who lost them. But for those who do put it on, yeah, man, I'll drive to them. I've met them. They've come to my house. And so I got to tell you, there's so much gratitude, and there's this kind of cool feeling in giving back. And it's like a God-given thing anyways, that you're more blessed when you give than you receive. So I'm in the river one day where it's things like this, and it'd be dangerous getting down there anyways. No wonder the thing was down there, right? Floats down the river, boom, lands in here. So meanwhile, I see this speaker. It's a speaker phone. It's a speaker, like a waterproof speaker, a boom one. And I'm like, well, that's cool. So I grab that. I got this, and now I dive down, and I get this leg. I pull it out, and their current catches me, and I cruise down. So anyways, I got this this prosthetic leg. I've never found a prosthetic leg. I've only ever seen them, right? So the guy right across the river sees me grab this thing, and I'm floating down the river, and I come back up, and he's like, oh my gosh, dude, you found a prosthetic leg. And I'm like, right? And who loses a leg in the river? who does that? So I come out of the river and I got holding this prosthetic leg, and he can't believe it. And the people all around me that are seeing this floating the river, walking on the greenbelt, oh my gosh, a prosthetic leg. I mean, you can walk down the, greenbelt holding a phone or holding, a pair of glasses or even a knife or carrying a watch. But you walk down the river, on the greenbelt holding a prosthetic leg, that's weird. Like that doesn't normally happen. So here I am just like, cruising down, headed back to my car, right? Holding on to this. And I'm like, wow, this is the coolest find ever, right? I mean, like I found a cool treasure. And when you think about it, treasure hunting, these things are all worth money. I could turn around, sell some of these glasses. These are Maui Jims, these are Ray-Bans. These are all worth, Maui Jim's there's $300-$400 glasses right here. I'm holding my hands, $300 right there. I'm holding $150 with these Ray-Bans. So this is a $25,000, I didn't know at the time, prosthetic leg. And so I'm like, I take it home. I take it into the kitchen, show my wife, and she's like, what are you doing with that? I said, I found it in the river. I'm so excited. Like I'm a kid at Christmas time, man. I could find a $5 pair of glasses, and I'm so happy. Like, it's so exciting. So I'm like, I found this in the river. And then I didn't know what to do with it, Mark. So I thought it sat there for like 2 weeks, and she's like, this is kind of weird, kind of eerie. Get it out of the house. So I take it out of the house, and it's in the garage. And then all of a sudden, it's just like it dawns on me, it's the strange. It's like, what have you been doing? Find the owner. And then all of a sudden, I zip into this mode of like, I am going to do whatever it takes to find the owner of this leg, right? So I go into this mode, and I'm making phone calls here, and I started videoing this, Mark. I became a YouTube guy, and I started videoing this. So I got a picture of this, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to video me doing this whole thing. So I end up videoing me going into the company that sells and makes these prosthetic legs. And I got permission, and there was my conversation with her. Well, no, I'm sorry, but if you bring it in, we can pull the serial number off, and then we can find the owner. I'm like, awesome. So I'm in there videoing this whole thing. Like, I'm sorry, it's not ours. We don't know the owner, but there's another company in town. If you contact them, they already know who you are. They found the owner. I'm like, what? You seriously found the owner? I thought it was going to be some dude in Michigan or something, right? I'm like, how am I going to get him? So I contact the company, and I said, my name's Rocky. I have this prosthetic leg. And they're like, we have been waiting for your call. I said, great. Listen, can you call the owner and tell him I'm going to be calling, and give me his number? So they gave me his number. And so then I record our call. Yeah, so cool. Calling the guy saying, dude, I found a prosthetic leg. So NBC hears about this story I'm sharing with you. And his name's Steve. He's the coolest interviewer I've ever met for interviews. And he's like, man, I would love to do this story. So he meets me and my new prosthetic leg friend at the river, and I bring the prosthetic leg, and he's like, this is the coolest story ever. I love this story. So we do the exchange, and it's real cool, and I'm videoing it, right? So I'm a YouTube guy now, and he just thinks it's the coolest thing. And then he tells the story. So my now, prosthetic friend, he's gone. And Steve's like, let's get you in the river, like in your atmosphere, doing what you do. And so you gotta see it on NBC, because he did such an amazing job. He's like, this year alone, I have lost my wallet, my keys, my phone. And once you lose something in the river, they never come back. And then he says, but there's this guy. And then I show up right out of the water. And he's like, this is the RiverRobinHood, who takes from the river and gives back to the people. I'm like, what? That's me, man. You're talking. So that's where I came up with my name. It's actually called the Boise River Robin Hood, but I went with RiverRobinHood. And so now I have like all these videos that I'm posting online or on YouTube, my YouTube channel, which I'd love for people to subscribe to, the RiverRobinHood, because I just, I'm kind of more of an entertainer. You're not going to learn a whole lot when you come to my channel, maybe a little bit, because I'm very seasoned, I'm an expert diver, but I do it because I just love it, Mark.
We have more great content coming up in this episode, but first we have a message from today's sponsor, Jobber. Jobber's award-winning software helps small home service businesses organize their entire operations, from scheduling jobs and managing their crews to invoicing customers and collecting payments. That way, you can spend more time on the services you're already great at. Job by job, business by business, Jobber is transforming the ways their customers deliver service. Start your free trial over at getjobber.com/breakthrough. All right, let's get right back into the episode. And that's the reason why we should all be doing our work, because we love it. I mean, is money a factor? Yes, it is. But I feel like you can do work you love doing and make money at the same time. And one important thing about Rocky, it's not like he went after the money. He just did this thing because it was a passion. And then now it's something where he has a channel now. It's something he could really grow, but it really just started out of goodwill, and now he's been able to expand it. And I'm wondering if you could share with us when you first began to thought, this YouTube channel could be the golden ticket for me, or this YouTube channel could really be something big.
So yes, so here's what happened, and thank you. And I want to go on that avenue. I see where you're going, and I really like it, because I think hopefully we can speak to a lot of people out there. I mean, I'm a professional by trade on what I do for a living. I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm a trainer, and I work as a coach. I really never share that part, because this other part of me is like, I love being in the river. It's like a hobby for me. So I've been doing it for decades, right? So I'm in the river one day, Mark, and I see this guy on the riverbank, and we start talking, and he's got like a full wetsuit on. I'm just in shorts and like a shirt, and I got my gear on. I wasn't out there. I wasn't spending all day out there like he was, but he's kind of towing a little boat, got some of the stuff in there, and he's got a full wetsuit on and a GoPro. And I'm like, hey, what you doing, man? He's like, I sold my business yesterday, and I'm full-time YouTube. And when he said full-time YouTube, my entrepreneurial ears go, what? Full-time YouTube, you can do that? Like, I had no idea. Like, for whatever reason, I just didn't know. And he's like, yeah, man, I have about 600,000 followers. What? Are you kidding? Like, I never met, this guy now became my iconic YouTube hero. I had never met somebody that had 5,000. Let alone 600,000 followers, right? And he's like local. He lives here. I mean, so, in my mind, he just is now this iconic figure for me for whatever reason. And right then and there, and this is the message, right then and there, I had two things come up for me. One, regret. Regret showed up because he does it like 3 times a year, and this isn't even his thing. He's not like a treasure hunter. He's a catch and cook guy, and he's really good at it. So he does this 3 times a year. I did it 3 times that week. Like, I'm in the river almost every day, and I'm good at it. And I haven't videoed any of this. So I'm thinking, Rocky, you got to be the dumbest guy on the planet. How dumb can you be to not film any of this cool stuff, dude? And then the second thought happened to me. My life is changing forever because I'm going to video everything. And the next day, I'm in the river with my little underwater camera, because I didn't have a GoPro, and I'm like videoing. I'm trying to paddle and dive, and like, it doesn't work, Mark. So then I finally got a GoPro, right? I didn't know how to use them. So I just started, and so I think the message that you're getting to, and this is what I did. I don't care what profession you are. If you're an accountant, or if you're a plumber or an electrician, or you're a writer, or what you do for a living, it doesn't matter. What's your hobby? What do you love to do, man? Here, I love to do this, and now this, I believe, I'm gonna have 100,000 plus followers in a year. I absolutely believe that I will, because I'm going on channels like yours, and I'm going to tell the story. And I want to inspire people to kind of go after that cool passion that they think isn't a big deal, right? Whatever it is, maybe it's sewing, maybe it's knitting, maybe it's singing, maybe it's playing something, whatever. They don't think it's a big, and I didn't either until Steve says, oh my gosh, dude, you're like the guy. Nobody does what you're doing. And that's probably a lot of people that I'm speaking to right now, right out there, that are, like, what can I do with my life? And I didn't think this would be a big thing, but if I had it all, Mike, let's just say I had hundreds of millions of dollars, I would still be in the rivers finding stuff. I would. I love it. It's so much fun.
And one of the things I do want to hit on, I mean, it is fascinating how you talk about this becoming a business, how you made the investment in the GoPro and stuff like that. Yeah, I sometimes think about having my own channel on running because I'm a runner. And one of the few things I want to point out, like, you don't, like, Rocky's talking about swimming, I'm talking about a running perspective. Like, in the case of, like, being an athlete, like, you don't have to be the fastest or most talented or whatever. You just got to be really good at video. So that's one thing to point out. Another thing I want to point out, though, is you mentioned you're a motivational speaker. Right. And it's not like this is the only thing you do full time, because you see, like, some athletic person or whatever do YouTube full time, and you think there's a lot of work that goes into it, but a lot of people listening, like, that's not the only thing you're doing. So how have you, like, been able to find times to do the River Robin Hood without the rest of your business suffering and without, like, having to not have as much time?
Yeah, good question. So the guys in my area, if you will, that are treasure hunters, they've laid the ground for me. In fact, I was with Ace the other day, and we're building this cool relationship. But and he's the 650,000 person guy, and he was telling me those guys kind of laid the foundation for me, because I'm a treasure hunter, right? I'm like, gosh, and I've been diving longer than these guys have been alive, but yet these guys are the treasure hunters. The Dolly MD and these, treasure hunters, they've been doing this for years. They didn't just start yesterday or last month or last year. They've been consistently videoing and then editing and then posting for 5, 6, 8 years, I think. That's a long time to be at your trade, a long time consistently. And that's why they have several million viewers. And so for me, I had to figure out, I got to carve time on the weekend or on the evening when I don't have any other events, or maybe I put aside a movie, or whatever that is, and I start working on my editing. I got the video, which I'm already in the room. Now I've got to edit. So I've got fear editing, and now I'm spending some time, and I've spent time, lunch hours, and I got kind of a flexible schedule, so I can do it whenever I need to. But I mean, I'm personally researching on YouTube how to grow my now new cool little business, right? It's so fun, and like, are you going to be a good editor? Yeah, I think so. Because I've just decided in my mind I'm going to be. This is part of launching a channel. I'm going to be a good editor, and I'm going to have fun doing it. Like, I've already made up my mind that I'm going to have fun doing it, and I really do have fun, man. You cut the little slices and the pieces of the video and added music and added pictures, and I'm learning all this stuff. I'm learning all of it. So it's going to be fun for even the viewers and the new subscribers to see the growth even in me. But for other people, man, just start somewhere. Like, I had to start somewhere, and that was with a little video camera. You can start doing whatever you want. Just start somewhere, and don't give up, and keep going. If it's your passion, you keep going. Right, Mark? Yeah. You're not going to stop running tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a really great point. And I mean, when you think about this as a hobby, I mean, like, you don't fully transition into business. It takes a while to transition into business. Like, for a while, it's still a hobby. So you could treat this as like you're watching Netflix. Is it a little extra work? Yes, but it's around a hobby, so you can treat it as such. So I definitely like the approach. And you're already doing collaborations. You're already, like, talking with big YouTube subscribers, which is actually a really big thing to do to grow on YouTube. So I definitely say River Robin Hood, really good future. I will recommend everyone go check that out on the YouTube channel, which will be in the show notes. I will be, as of this recording, I've pretty much told Rocky we'll be watching some of his videos tonight. I saw his channel a little bit at National Publicity Summit, but I will be watching videos tonight.
Thank you.
But
Thank
anyway, are there any other places you want us to go to find you, or RiverRobinHood YouTube? That's pretty much where we should go.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've done hundreds of interviews around the world. This is just one of those areas that I really want to focus on. I want people to see that fun personality side of me. And I'm just saying, I have this doppelganger personality, Mark. When you see me in the river and find stuff, I don't know. I come alive. It's so much fun. It's like Christmas time for me. And when you see the NBC part, you get that. That's really me. I seriously love doing it. It's a passion of mine, and you should see some of the comments. Oh my gosh, this guy's so much fun to watch. And it's just kind of cool even seeing the comments. And right now they're positive, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. And it's just, yeah. So I think people will go there because and I've been told that too. This is one of the things I'm learning about YouTube is YouTube. It's kind of about entertaining. And I'm at the top of the food chain. When you see me, I'm entertaining. That's just really it. And I fast forward, you see me in the river finding stuff, and I talk about it. I turn the camera toward me, and and I got slobber coming out my face, and I got weird, I mean, dude, I'm just really real. And I keep all that raw video and cut it all out, and they're 10 to 15 minutes, so they're short, they're fun. But yeah, the RiverRobinHood, subscribe to it, watch my videos. I think you'll love it. And I'll take you, I'm in the river just, I started finding hooks and lures and spinners all the time. And so the guys that are fishing I'm like, man, dude, here you go. I'm just passing them out, and then there's nobody there. And I have boxes filled with hooks and spinners and lures, thousands of dollars worth of this stuff. I'm in the river. So it's just so much fun doing this. I love it. This is a ton of fun.
Rocky, your passion is very obvious. I mean, check this guy out on YouTube. I mean, I think the story is really incredible, and I think you'll learn a lot about how you can grow on YouTube with a channel like Rocky's. So once again, I do want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on Breakthrough Success, and it was such a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
This episode of the Breakthrough Success Podcast was brought to you by Jobber. Jobber is your business's command center. The easy-to-use app powers your sales, operations, and customer service all in one place. Start a free trial or sign up today to receive 20% off your first 6 months. Find out more at getjobber.com/breakthrough.